Hello everybody and welcome. This is Christine with Patter Crafts, and today I'm here with a Scrapping for Less design team project. Today I'll be making a birthday card using the Party Palooza stamp set from Heffy Doodle. And I will also be using this paper pad here from Scrapping for Less. It's called Ice Cream Celebration. It is a 6x6 double-sided pattern paper pad. There are 4 of each design. So just kind of skimming through here so you can kind of get an idea of what to expect with this paper pad. And it's not glued at the top like traditional pads, so it just comes all individual sheets in a nice cellophane bag. So first up, we are going to stamp out all of our images. These images are super cute. I love how this stamp set has the several faces. I don't use them in today's project, but I like that they're in there to use later. So I kind of have an idea of what I want this card to look like at this point, but I don't exactly know which images I'm going to use or how many I'm going to use. So I'm stamping out 1 of each. And as I'm stamping them out, I'm thinking about birthday parties. And I don't know about you, but a lot of wrapping paper, like while they do make solid color wrapping paper, a lot of wrapping paper is patterned. So I decide I am going to do some paper piecing with the wrapping paper and also the cupcake wrappers. So I make a couple extra impressions of the easiest present that seems like the easiest that would be to do paper piecing with, and I make an additional cupcake because at this point I think I'm going to put 2 on. If you've seen the picture of my card already, then you know that only 1 actually goes on the card. And so I grab my Copic markers and I'm just coloring all the parts of these images that I'm going to color with Copics. I'm just going to show you the 2 balloons today, because if I were to show you all the coloring, this video would be super long, and if you want to see some coloring videos, then maybe I could do those at another time. But I am just coloring in these 2 balloons in pinks and purples. I'm trying to use a lot of similar colors to what is in the pattern paper. So a lot of these images are going to be colored with pinks, purples, and the blue-greens. So finishing up with the balloon here, I am doing my darkest there to the left and the lightest to the right. I am going to add a highlight in there, but I will do that at the end. So by the power of YouTube, here's the parts of my images that I Copic colored. And now I'm stamping out onto the pattern paper the patterns that I'm going to use for these cupcakes and gifts. Now, I'm looking for some prints that are pretty tiny because these areas are pretty small. And I do find a couple, but then I'm looking at the I guess it would be like the cover of the paper pad, and it kind of is a small version of what you're going to find in there. So I end up using that, and that worked really great. So I stamped out all those images and I put them aside. This paper from Scrapping for Less tends to have a little bit of a glossy finish, which is fine. I actually kind of like it. But you do have to let your ink dry before you play with anything. So just know that, like, you need to like stamp directly down. I hold it for a few seconds because there's really nothing for the ink to absorb into because of the finish. And then I will just pull directly up and then put it aside and give it a few minutes to completely dry. That way you're not smearing anything that you're stamping. So here I'm just fussy cutting all of the little bits and pieces. You can see I have the 2 cupcakes up top, and I thought they came out really cute. And now I'm working on the gifts, which weren't as hard as I thought they might be when I first started this adventure. At first I thought maybe I was a little crazy because this is going to take a long time. But actually went really quickly, probably no longer than actually coloring. So here are all my gifts, my cakes and my balloons, and I'm getting ready to put my card together. So I have a card base here, and I'm putting my main panel on, which has all these ice cream cones. And then I needed something for my images to sit on, so I used the same pattern or solid paper that I stamped Happy Birthday on and just trimmed a small rectangle on that I can kind of put my cake and gifts, kind of mirroring a table, I guess, a little bit. And so I have my little Happy Birthday there. I'm sort of kind of deciding placement, and I don't stick it down completely because I'm not sure if I'm going to have to lift that up. So I decided to add some twine to my balloons. It just adds a little extra texture to the card, and it's something a little bit different. And yeah, I could have drawn on some lines, but this was much nicer. So I'm going ahead and adding this baker's twine to the balloons with just some Scotch tape, and then I'm adding a piece of foam square to each one, kind of bundling those together. And then I'm going to pull the strings together and tape them, and that is going to be hidden behind my Happy Birthday banner. So I'm going to go ahead and I do push it down here. Adding some more foam for my cupcake. And then the presents, I didn't want to cover up the twine. I figured if I took the time to put it on there, I didn't want to hide it and cover it up. So I actually tucked two of these gifts behind the twine and just adhere them directly to my card. And then I popped this small little box up on some foam tape. And I had to cut that little square in half, and then I'm using a little bit of liquid glue where it's going to hang on to that little pink Happy Birthday banner, but my foam tape is a little bit bigger than that banner, so it doesn't really need to be there. So as always, I have to add a little Wink of Stella to everything, so I'm adding it to the balloons and the frosting of the cupcake. So now I'm bringing in a white gel pen to add a little bit of highlight to my balloons. Now I have put this on before Wink of Stella before with this particular pen, and the Wink of Stella just kind of, I don't know, it makes it kind of disappear. So I try it on top, and it takes a few more minutes to get it on there, but you can see it much better and it looks much better. Adding some Nouveau, these are the stone drops, to that little corner above the cupcake to finish my card. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, hit subscribe.